Hi everybody, John Cena here and welcome to Series 2, Episode 4 of FunkQuest. And two more intrepid funksters step up to the plate to try and find the champion funkster of Series 2. And on the show today, we have Cam Knight, who is a newcomer to the show, and Lisa Marie Platske, who was on in a previous guise. So Cam, tell me who you are, where you're from.
I'm Cam Knight, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
And tell us what you do.
I'm a coach, writer, and an author. I've written 10 books, and I've traveled to 100 countries.
Brilliant. And Lisa Marie Platske. Lisa, tell us who you are, where you're from.
I am sitting in Alexandria, Virginia, right outside Washington, D.C., and destiny designing is my superpower, and leadership coaching is the vehicle that I use that. So I travel around the world speaking and coaching.
Brilliant. Right, so if you are new to FunkQuest, you'll kind of figure it out how it works out. It's not difficult. There is some things, though, to remember before we get started. If you think you're funky enough, send me a tweet. These guys are going to be quite easy. But it's not. It's harder than you think. So send me a tweet, John Senior 1. Get ready to vote. In about 10 or 12 minutes' time, I'll be asking you for one of these funksters to go through to the next round. So get a pen or a piece of paper or something to capture some details down. And if you think, well, I've got a better answer than that, you can join in the conversation at hashtag FunkQuest. So with that said, let's move on to the board. And Lisa Marie, you've been on the show before in a different guise, so you kind of know what to expect. So I'm going to make you go first because going first is a slight disadvantage. You've got to be fair to new people, right? So Lisa, you pick an icon from question 1.
I'm going to take the bowl of apples.
The bowl of fruit thing, yeah. How many times a year do you have a declutter?
Pretty much every single morning and then throughout the day.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm constantly clearing out my space, clearing out my thoughts, clearing out pieces of paper. It is not a how many times a year. It is truly something that happens at least every day. And yes, so we're in the thousands.
How do you clear your thoughts out?
I pause. I really pause and say, what's coming up here for me. So sometimes I'm working on something. Sometimes I'm even with family members and I can tell that I'm bothered by something. And so I'll go, okay, just pause, like stop, notice, pay attention.
You do get extra time, by the way, if it's a funky answer. So, but Cam gets the same question now, which is, how many times a year do you have a declutter?
All right. Well, I don't think it's as often as Lisa Marie, but it's still pretty regular. I would say about every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I'll set a goal, I'll decide a course of action, and then all of a sudden, and I'll get completely clear on what I want to do, and I'll completely clear out my workspace. And then as the days go by, my head starts getting filled up with other thoughts and other things I should be doing and things that I'm not doing. And then I start to feel bad because I'm not doing it. And then it just starts building up. And then my space also starts getting cluttered with mess and paperwork and whatnot. And by about the 2-week mark, I am kind of back in square one. So I need to do a revamp, get everything out of the way. And usually when I declutter, I don't have a lot of time. So I kind of just throw all my mess in my desk into my closet. So I just can't see it. And then it gives me enough time, like 2 more weeks to continue, staying focused until the cluttering starts reappearing again.
Yeah. I think I'm more like, I have that cycle. And things just get, like you say, clear everything away, then all of a sudden, they gradually stuff creeps back in. Gotta be on it. Right, good answers. Right, question 2, Cam to go first.
I am quite interested in what's going on with the wall free world.
The wall of the free world.
Wall of the free world.
This question has come up before, actually. If you had a giraffe and needed to hide it, where would you go?
Wow, okay. That's an interesting question. Well, I had mentioned I traveled to nearly 100 countries, and many of the countries I visited were in Africa.
Yeah.
And I remember I was really, really excited to see giraffes when we were doing a few different cave drives, like in Botswana or Tanzania. A person who was on the journey with me on the same tour, he's like, oh, don't worry about it. You're going to see so many giraffes that you're going to literally throw up. And by the end of my African journey, I had seen so many giraffes that I literally wanted to throw up. So if I did have a giraffe, I would just want to hide it and not look at it. Where would I hide it? Yeah, you know what? That's right. What I would do is I would decorate it so it wasn't a giraffe. So maybe like put some leaves and turn it into a Christmas tree, and it'd be like a traveling, flashing Christmas tree.
You have to get it through customs and all that stuff. That might be a bit tricky.
A little bit.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, Lisa Marie, you got the same question, which is if you had a giraffe, where would you go to hide it?
If I had a giraffe and I needed to hide it, my giraffe would be living in the back of my car. And he would be hiding back there. And the reason why is because the vehicle that my husband and I have, we always say that we go to Costco to buy groceries, which we don't have any children. So here we are, just the two of us. And the amount of furniture and the amount of large household items that we have fit in the back of the car has just
good. Yeah.
It's been incredible and so my giraffe would fit in the back of the car there. And the other thing is whenever I've driven across the United States multiple times, living both on the East Coast and the West Coast. And that's always the hiding place. Whenever I've got anything of value, I actually put it in a tub inside the car and cover it all up. So my giraffe would have this really comfortable spot in the car.
Good answer. That. Right. So question 3, and it is this row. It's Lisa Marie to go first.
Okay, and I am going to take the rocket.
The rocket, a space shuttle. Yes. What music do you find most relaxing?
That depends on my mood. Ooh. So sometimes I find jazz really relaxing, and sometimes it's too much, and a good classical music will truly relax me. And there are times when what's most relaxing is really needing something that's more like rock, and that actually relaxes me. There's a certain upbeat and an energetic to it that allows me to just settle into who I am or my day. So I really will say it depends on where I am in the moment. And where I listen to most of my music is in a car. That's where I will go. Okay, like what do I feel right now? What's going on in my business? What's going on in my family? What's going on? And that's how I make the decision to really just settle in and relax. And
interesting, yeah.
It varies.
Funky thinker Nathan Aswell, I'm very into music, and there's a couple of episodes which I'll probably link to in the show notes where he talks quite a bit about how music affects consciousness and stuff like that. So if people are interested in that, I'll do that. And Cam, you got the same question, which is music. Which kind of music do you find most relaxing?
All right, so what music I find relaxing really depended on my age. So when I was younger, things that were much more louder and hyper and a lot of edits and cuts were what my mind naturally drew to. So like the Beastie Boys and Public Enemy, and
nice.
Shamelessly, I'm going to admit I was a fan of Vanilla Ice back in the day.
Yeah.
Then as I got a little bit older into my teenage days, I really got into electronic music. And I know there's a lot of the great music came from England, interestingly enough, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So trance was really big. But now what I really truly find relaxing is a style of music called progressive house. It's electronic music, but it's much more mellower. It's got a very steady beat. More or less, that's all I listen to nowadays, especially when I'm working. And there's just one particular DJ that I really enjoy, if I could give him a plug. He's an Argentinian DJ named Fernando Ferreira. He mixes music that are not too much bass, not too heavy, but a lot of really interesting sounds that just get my mind going. And it really just brings up the creative, positive feelings that I need to just be calm and get my work done and also be focused at the same
Send us
time.
can you send us a link? Has you got some YouTube? Send us a link and we'll put some of that in the show notes also.
Yep, I'll do that right now, actually.
Right. Next question, and it's question 4 first. It's Cam to go first, I believe.
To be nice, I'll for Lisa Marie's sake, I'll pick the
I do
mohawk.
the mohawk. What will always be in fashion no matter how much time passes?
Well, I'll tell you what was always in fashion for me, no matter how much time passed, was the George Clooney haircut, which
Really?
was pretty much, you know, the hair, it just went up forward that way. I was one of those guys that didn't care to spend a lot of time grooming. I just felt like there's more that time could be used to do a lot more interesting, fun, and productive things. So I didn't own a comb. After I took a shower, I just did this to my hair, and it would just kind of move forward like the George Clooney haircut. And I had that for almost well over 20 years. And the only reason I'm going this now is because, as you can tell, I have less and less hair as each morning I wake up. But if I did, I would continue with that George Clooney haircut, and I don't think it would ever change. And
Hair's overrated. It's an inconvenience. I'm not a hair person.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone would ever say that it was out of style or unstylish haircut.
Interesting that you've gone for something tangible. People go for tangible stuff. People go for untangible stuff. Lisa, what is almost in fashion? What will always be in fashion?
What comes to mind for me is what'll always be in fashion is shoes. So when I look at my closet and I think about the amount of shoes that I own and the amount of shoes that friends of mine own, whether it's flip-flops or heels or boots or different styles. And I do have friends. I can say that I have a friend who lives in Canada who doesn't wear shoes and never wears shoes. And so, however, that's one person, and I just look at it as shoes will always be in fashion no matter how much time passes.
How many pairs you got, you reckon?
Oh, I would say probably about 125.
125 pair of shoes?
Oh, yeah.
You send the photograph. I don't believe
They're
it.
in little boxes. They're in plastic boxes so I can see them all, and they're on different shelves, and then I rotate them because there's some that are only for summer and there's some that are only for winter. And
You got an extension built on your house?
No, just
like a shoe extension.
They're in 4 closets, and my husband has 3 racks of running shoes in the
Good.
garage.
Yeah, I know. That don't count. I like him. I like him already. Yeah.
I only own 2 pairs of shoes, and that's it.
Good for you.
I don't know how people can own so much. It would just clutter my head, and I would need to go through it, declutter much more frequent.
Go down to Lisa's house and just throw 123 pairs of them away. Next question. What we are now, 5. And who is it to go first? Lisa, I believe. So, question 5.
I will do the camper.
The car and caravan.
Or camper. Yes, please.
Yeah. Apart from childbirth, what's the most physically painful thing you have gone through?
Ooh. Owning my own business.
Nice. Good answer.
Yeah, owning my own business. It's been the biggest personal and development experience I've ever had. Stretching in ways that I didn't expect. And when I say physically painful, I sometimes physically hurt for my clients and what they experience. I sometimes physically just the hours that I keep that I'll stretch myself in order to be able to get projects done. And then just the who I am as a person, as my own growth edges. I did not expect business to be like this. Now it's been joyful too. They've been wonderful. When I think about the capacity of which my business has stretched me over the last 15 years, I would never, ever have imagined. Nobody could have told that it would be like this.
Brilliant answer. Very, very good answer. That's not it, because Cam gets a chance to answer the same question, which is most painful thing you've ever gone through.
Okay, Jonathan. Well, this one is not an easy one to talk about, but as far back as I can remember, I've had a very unquiet mind. I had a lot of challenges sitting still, organizing my thoughts. My mind was racing and spinning out of control. Also, at the same time, I had emotions that were just kind of cycling and raging. And I was just kind of like switching states constantly. And the best way for me to describe what that was like was I felt like I was going to spontaneously combust, but the tragedy of it was I never did. And I thought it was a phase that I was going through when I was young. And, you know, when you're young, this kind of behavior is almost expected. And also the expectation is that you're going to get over it. But that's not what happened. It actually got worse and worse until by the time I became an adult, it really like was in my face, affecting all areas of my life, professional, academic, as well as personal. And I've been on a healing journey over the last 15 years in managing this mayhem and getting over it. And this is what really led to my journey across 100 countries. It wasn't a journey of fun and pleasure and exploring, but more of healing. And many times it was just, you know, it was a lot of pain. It wasn't the kind of pain where you're cut or you're bruised or you have an injury, but it was like a deep-rooted pain that I just couldn't numb myself from. And there was so much pain that it is what motivated me to go on such a extreme journey. And I'm happy to say I have kind of come over a lot of it. I can't say that all the pain is gone, and I don't think it will ever be gone for anybody. I think we all have a certain degree of pain that we just deal with on a day-to-day basis. But I would say that was the most painful thing I've had to go through.
Good answers, very good answers. Appreciate you for sharing that, both of you. That's very, very powerful stuff. But having said that, that's the end of the show. So who won? Well, I don't know. I mean, you listener has to decide that. Who has given you the biggest insight or the biggest aha, or that I'm going to go and find something out, I'm going to go look up something or whatever. You got to work that out for yourself. And so if you think that Lisa Marie won, you've got to send an email to lisa-marie@funkythinkers.com. And if you think that Cam needs to go through to the next show and want to hear more from him, send an email to cam@funkythinkers.com, and you won't get on a list or anything stupid like that. You'll just get one acknowledgement. And I feel quite somber after those two good answers right at the end. I'm normally quite chipper at the end. But Lisa Marie, how can we find out more about you?
Find out more about me by going to www.upsidethinking.com, UPSIDE, and the word thinking, THINKING.com.
Good. And Cam, how can we find out more about you and buy all your books?
Okay, great. Well, you don't have to buy all my books. I can give you your listeners a book for free, and they can go to mindlily.com/free. That's MINDLILY.com/free. And I've got a great book called Triple Your Reading, Memory, and Concentration in 30 Minutes, which all of your listeners can grab. And it's a really quick read that can really accelerate their mental performance.
Excellent. Lady and gent, thank you so much for being on the show. And that's it. Thank you so much, and speak soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan. It was great.
Thanks, John. And Cam, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too, Lisa.
Hi, thanks so much for making it to the end of this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please share it with your friends. I have a few people you might want to share it with. Your partner, your parents, your grandma and granddad, your neighbours, your hairdresser, your tea lady, your gym instructor, your swimming coach, postman, the bin man, your cat, your dog, Father Christmas, Mr. Trump, Mr. Putin, Cristiano Ronaldo.